Hello everyone, and welcome to the sideboard for the Los Angeles Standard Open. We've just entered the top four. The players are shuffling up, and we're just going to give you a quick rundown before we go into the Magic. We're starting off with Brian Siemens once again. He's playing against Ross Merriam, making it black-red zombies against blue-white Delver. And because Brian was the first seed going into the top 8, he'll have the play against Ross Merriam, which is a pretty reasonable advantage for the zombie player. It lets him commit a threat before having to remove a Delver or kill something else, and it makes Geist of St. Traft way less tenable against Geralf's Messenger. I think that generally you favor the zombie player here. Ross has come with some different sideboard cards. He's got Timely Reinforcements, which has been popular this weekend, but not so popular in the past. That could change things for him. And he also has Spell Skites, which he says he brings in this matchup. They're a pretty big wall. They help you block those Diregraph Ghouls, which are otherwise very difficult to remove, and they can redirect Tragic Slips and whatnot to save your Delver of Secrets, which might make keeping those guys in even better. The issue, of course, is that Brian is also very well prepared. He has Nihil Spellbombs for Runechainer's Pikes, in addition to Smelts, which will earn even more targets with Spellskite being added to the deck after sideboarding. So whether Ross decides to bring the artifacts or not, keeps in the Pikes or not, could change the matchup a lot. I could see a lot of tempo being gained by Brian if he has a Smelt in the right spot, but at the same time, Spellskite and Runechainer's Pike will be huge influences if they go unchecked. Moving on to the other match, we have Keon Jafari against Sam Pardee. It's blue-white Delver against blue-white midrange, and we're going to be putting the blue-white Delver player on the play. Normally, this is a pretty advantageous spot for Delver, as Delverless Delver's worst matchup is Delver. I think that it might go the other way, though. Sam beat Delver in the quarterfinals, despite being on the draw, and his main deck and sideboard are actually pretty well structured to handle most of the modern Delver decks, while Keon also has very little sideboard for the matchup. He has over-sideboarded and overbuilt his deck to really compensate for the aggressive metagame. He came to beat Zombies, Infect, other Delver decks. He did not come to beat blue-white Delverless Delver. So it could go the other way. Some of the more interesting cards in Sam's deck, he has a Twist Image in the main deck, which is actually a pretty nice insurance policy against the occasional Runechainer's Pike thwack. And he has 2 Divine Offerings in the sideboard. Those are going to give him additional answers to Runechainer's Pike as well post-board. If I were Keon, I might even be considering bringing them out, as they're not going to be that effective against Golem tokens, Twisted Images, Divine Offerings, all that stuff. Either way, probably a match that you would normally just say favors the Delver player, but Sam's already dispensed one. He spent most of the day battling through a field filled with Delver Secrets, so definitely wouldn't count him out, and either deck could very easily win that matchup. I think I have to give Brian Siemens the go-ahead in the matchup against Ross, although Ross is a very good Delver player, very experienced, might find a plan that gets him out of there. So we're going to throw to Patrick Chapin and Cedric Phillips in the booth now, and they're going to bring you Brian Siemens versus Ross Merriam.